Hi, my name is Ben Joseph. I'm the person who runs the Judge Ben Show for Channel 17 here in Burlington. So here I am in the UVM Alumni House in Burlington, and my guest today is Dr. Ken Finn. Ken is a physician from Colorado, and we're here today to talk about the legalization of the sales of recreational marijuana in Colorado. How long have you been practicing medicine in Colorado?
In Colorado, almost 26 years.
And do you have a specialty?
I specialize in physical medicine and rehabilitation, pain medicine, and pain management.
Pain management. Did you serve on the Colorado task force that studied the proposed legalization of the sale of recreational marijuana?
Yes, sir.
When was that?
That was in 2012. After we voted on it in 12, it was actually early 2013, where we had 8 weeks to come up with the recommendations to the governor, which was not a lot of time.
So how long did you serve in this capacity?
8 weeks.
8 weeks. Have you treated patients that have come to you because of their experiences with marijuana?
Oh, yeah.
How many patients like this have you treated? Do you have any idea?
That are using marijuana, or hundreds?
Hundreds. And did they have certain problems?
Usually they come to me because they have a pain issue. And so I have to sort out what their pain problem is and determine how to manage, coordinate care, imaging, therapy, medications, other specialty care, etc.
Do you ever have patients who have become addicted to marijuana?
I think by the time they see me, many of them are already addicted to marijuana.
When was the sale of recreational marijuana legalized in Colorado?
We had medical marijuana. We voted on Amendment 20 in 2000, and then that went implemented in 2001. And then we had Amendment 64, which was for recreational and personal use. We voted on it in 2012, and it was implemented in 2014.
2014. After the sale of recreational marijuana was legalized, was there an increase in use of the drug?
Yes.
Do you know the proportion? Do you know the percentages? Has anybody ever gotten the numbers as to?
We had an increase in marijuana-related driving fatalities, marijuana impacts in the emergency department and urgent care. We had increase in poison control calls. In terms of the actual number of people that are using, I don't think we know. Depends on what you read.
This legalization took place in 2014?
It was implemented in 2014, but we had de facto legalization in 2009. After the Ogden memo passed, there was a lot of politicking and maneuvering, and then the dispensaries opened up in 2009 like daisies, where they outnumber the number of Starbucks and McDonald's combined in the state.
I'm looking at a chart that you sent to me which showed the number of fatalities involving accidents caused by drivers driving under the influence of marijuana.
Yes, sir.
In 2014, there were 75 people killed on the highway because of marijuana-influenced driving, and that number went up to 138 in 2017, and 2018 the report was 115. What's been the reaction to this in Colorado?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I think our law enforcement are really tapped out because I think they're contending with driving impairment, and there's no roadside testing device, and even though we have a per se limit that really isn't applicable in the world of marijuana, like the alcohol is 0.08, there really is no equal for driving impairment with marijuana.
No saliva test that is reliable?
There are some devices that are out there that are being beta tested, but there really isn't something that's universal. You have DREs, or drug recognition experts, and they can do field sobriety, and if the person fails, they can determine, well, you can blow and see if you have alcohol in your system, and if you don't, you have the option of donating your blood to see if you have a per se limit, but you can refuse that as well. So these numbers may actually be underinflated.
So there could be more fatalities that haven't been positively identified with marijuana?
Correct. And I've driven on our highways, and I've seen people lighting up bowls and going 80 miles an hour, driving with their elbow. So it happens. But then I want to take a picture or video, but then I'm a distracted driver, so I'm yelling at my wife to do it for me. But then she's not good with her phone.
Are you thinking about leaving Colorado?
Thinking about it.
Wow.
Yeah, we have an increase in homelessness. We have an increase in panhandling. We have an increase in crime, which I'll be discussing today. Homicides, burglaries in Denver at dispensaries are at all-time high in the past 3 years. We have officer-involved shootings related to marijuana, many of which are fatal, not to the officers, thankfully. But yeah, it's become a real public nuisance.
I've had some correspondence with some people from Pueblo, Colorado, who seem to have a handful of problems caused by recreational sales.
Now, they got more than a handful down there. They're about 45 minutes south of me.
I understand in Colorado, though, that there are some individual, like municipalities, which have forbidden the sales in the town. Is that right?
That's correct. And actually, when we voted on Amendment 64 in 2012, 72% of the municipalities in the entire state said no, we don't want it in our backyard. In California, that was 80%, and in Michigan last year or two was 80% as well. So the vast majority of communities that say, yeah, the voters spoke, but we don't want it here. Why is that?
But the sales in the places that permit it, that stuff circulates throughout the whole state?
It's legal border to border, north, south, east, west, but they're 72%. I think it's gone down to 70% or 68% still don't allow it in their community. So I don't have it. Colorado Springs doesn't have it in the city, but there's a little town west of the city by about 6 miles, Manitou Springs, that town of 6,000 has 4 dispensaries in it, legal. So they are the only dispensary between Denver and Pueblo that has legal marijuana.
So people from
Pueblo, from actually Colorado Springs, can go there.
So they drive 6 miles and they can buy it legally.
Yeah.
It's hard to understand.
Come visit.
Okay. I mean, you know, I don't understand it. I really don't.
It's money.
It's just all money, huh? Well, as they used to say in Philadelphia, money talks. You know, it's
Right.
just grim. It's really grim. Well, I'm glad that you've come to Vermont to tell us what the experience has been.
Me too.
It's been good of you to do it. I just don't know where it's all headed.
I have some thoughts, but I'll just keep them to myself right now.
Well, maybe we'll go on the road and do another one.
Right.
Ken, thank you very much. Good job.